What's up YouTube, Capital G here. Looks like the April 1st, 2019 Forbidden and Limited list has been updated for the OCG, and we are going to talk about it, discuss it, talk about maybe some implications that could happen over here in the TCG. I have not seen this list. I've seen a couple of cards, but for the most part, we will be seeing this for the first time together in this video. And I think the biggest burning question that a lot of people in the TCG would have is Salamangreats going to get nerfed on this list? Honestly, I don't think that they would, because they just came out in December in the OCG, so they've only been out for a few months. I don't think Konami wants to hit the deck that early. Maybe we could see a hit on Ladybug. I think that would be like an indirect hit. I think Salamangreat players would not cry about that, because maybe if Ladybug went to 1, you could start playing cards like Flame Buffalo if you were not playing that already, and that would be a substitute. But outside of Gazelle, I never predicted anything else would get hit in the deck anyways. But let's go ahead and look at it. Now, I do know for a fact that this is actually the only ban card, it appears, and that is Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. This is honestly not that shocking. I just mean, maybe you could say that it's shocking that it's happening right now, but in the grand scheme of things, I never thought that it was going to survive the Vrains era. I said this a long time ago, and I said this consistently on this channel, that this card was like, the fact that you could just start pulling Red Eyes from your deck and it being pretty much like any deck that runs dragons was eventually going to get this card banned. I mean, it was one thing for like, because Hieratics used to be able to do it, right? They used to be able to pull Red Eyes from the deck with the King Dragon Atum, their rank 6 monster, but that was like one dragon deck in the entire game that could do it. It's another thing when literally any dragon deck can do it. And the thing about it is, with the guard dragons, you have decks that are not even dragon based, like Thunder Dragons and all these other fucking bullshit decks like Crusadia. That's not a dragon deck, but they can do it. Like, this card became way too exploitable. Obviously, there's no hard once return on this card. We saw that during the days when Chaos Dragons were like tier 1 during Zexal. It doesn't really surprise me at all. I think that if Guard Dragons would have never been created, I think that Red Eyes would have been fine at 1. But the fact that you can pull it from your deck and then activate the effect 3 times, sometimes in a turn, it eventually just became too much. So I'm not really all that shocked. And yeah, Guard Dragons, sorry, but you guys got Red Eyes banned. I believe that wholeheartedly. I don't think that it got itself banned. I think the Guard Dragons did. These are limited cards. Looks like Speedroid Terratop and Armageddon Knight. Okay, so these are both kind of copied from the TCG. From over here, Speedroid Terratop was way too, like, it was seeing way too much playing Salamangreats. Every single Salamangreat player over there in the OCG was running 2 copies of Terratop and then also running Take Tambori. Terratop is just one of those cards that it facilitates a 1-card XC, and it kind of sucks if you're a Speedroid player, but this card is just so exploitable. I mean, maybe you can say Konami should not have made Mirage Stallion generic. Maybe it should have required 2 Salamangreat monsters, or even 2 fire monsters, or at least 1 Salamangreat monster. But yeah, they were using this in the OCG in every single Salamangreat build. I never thought it was reliable for us to run this in the TCG, because it was just way too bricky, but this just honestly makes sense. Salamangreat's got this card hit, but even beyond that, it's just like, it's, you know, played in Goki and Zodiac and so many other decks throughout Yu-Gi-Oh history, so many other tier 1 decks, and it was inevitable that it was going to go to 1 when Salamangreat's got Mirage Stallion. Armageddon Knight, this is a duh type of hit. Like, I believe that they left Armageddon after they hit Dark Matter Dragon. They did not touch Armageddon Knight, and they thought all the problems are solved, and then nope, there's even more FTKs. Armageddon Knight is way too powerful. The card just gets better and better. They're about to get Dangers, I assume, sometime before the end of the year in the OCG. The card's just going to get more powerful. Like, there's no reason that Armageddon Knight should be any higher than 1. I argued a while ago it should actually be banned, but at 1, it's at least tolerable. Keeping this card at 3 is just absolutely ludicrous. So these are all good hits so far. I'm wondering if anything crazy happened. Oh, they unbanned Regeki. That is so crazy. For the longest time in the OCG, they've had Regeki banned, and we have had it in the TCG for forever. I mean, we have like Double Dark Hole, we have Regeki, nobody runs those cards. The problem is that it kind of feels like you have to be running a go second deck basically to make use of Regeki. If you're ever opening first, which a lot of decks want to go first because they can essentially pull off their combos with the least amount of opposition, a lot of decks you go first and Regeki's just a dead draw. Even the super control decks like, you know, Paleozoic and Guru Control, they're not going to run Regeki because it's only live if you go second. And a lot of decks right now on Yu-Gi-Oh, let's just be real, either the monsters can protect themselves and or float like Thunder Dragon Colossus and the Sky Striker monsters floating in the Ray, or, well, I guess the Salamangreats with like Balinks, or they have like, you know, Disruption. They have like an Infernity Barrier. They have Negates on field. So Regeki's just not in a very good place anymore. The card could legitimately be at 3, and I don't think it would make any difference, but glad they finally realized in the OCG Regeki's not that powerful and they decide to unban it. It looks like this is it for the bans and limits. This is a very small list so far. For the semi-limits, okay, looks like they put Dynamite Knuckle to 2, and then also Totally Awesome, A Hero Lives, and Limiter Removal. We already have 3 limiter removals in the TCG. It's not really doing anything. I think outside of Trains would even consider possibly running it, maybe Cyber Dragons. Dynamite Knuckle is obviously going to boost the consistency of True Draco, but they still, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, they still don't have Diagram in the OCG. So I don't know how good. It feels like the ceiling is always going to be super low in the OCG as long as Diagram is banned, because your consistency card is just not there. And Totally Awesome, I kind of feel like this one should have been attached with like ABC Dragon Buster. In the OCG, they do have a long history of hitting boss monsters in these decks, and I mean, a lot of these decks are from Arc V, and they just did not give their boss monsters back. You know, ABC Dragon Buster is still at 1, I believe, in the OCG. Totally Awesome doesn't really need to be hit. It's only summonable in like frog-based decks and in Paleo and stuff like that. I guess you can summon it in Mermill, like decks that can make Bahamut Shark maybe, but overall, it's not nearly as like as oppressive as it was before. Totally Awesome is really good if you have another card to back it up, or if you use like Moonland Glacier first, then have Totally Awesome. But just summoning a Totally Awesome and not doing anything else, really not that impactful. I think Solemn Warning went to multiples. Okay, these are right, these are semi-limits. So Unlimits, holy moly, they have Fairy Tale Snow at 3. They got Snow at 3 and we got Snow banned. My gosh, that is definitely jarring. I think that they put Union Hanger to 3 instead of putting Dragon Buster like at 3, which I guess ABC must have been just really, really trash in the OCG if Union Hanger was at like 1 or if it was at 2. Denlong, I know, was at 2. I still personally think Denlong is broken. I think eventually Miko, which is Denlong 2.0 from Dark Neostorm, I think that card will get hit. This one, Damage Juggler. Damage Juggler isn't doing anything. I think Konami needs to put the card at like maybe even unlimited in the TCG. I kind of feel like they need to just unban Plush Fire as well. I don't think Plush Fire is going to do anything. Pendulums aren't that strong. Wavering Eyes isn't nearly as powerful as it was before, but I don't want to get on a rant about Plush Fire. And then Solemn Warning. Oh my god, I would love to have Solemn Warning at 3 and the TCG. I think that the Solemn cards, people are realizing that, I mean, they're still incredibly powerful, and I love them, but they're only played in decks that, like, really only go first, and, you know, they're just not that popular right now, so I think it definitely makes sense. I think Solemn Judgment is at 2 in the OCG, and I would like to see the Solemns move up in the TCG. I don't know if it's going to happen, but overall, this seems like a very, very small list, and doesn't really go after Salamangreats in any significant way, so that's, if you're a Salamangreat player, you're looking at your deck and like, all right, boys, we're probably going to have this deck at full power until, you know, maybe like December or something like that. So whatever you guys think of the OCG list, leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.